It was very interesting because I was being headhunted to join Tsao Foundation as its CEO. Okay. And so I told Marian, I said, Marian, as a professional social worker, I actually don't like to work for seniors. Okay, I like to work for children, I like to work for youth, I like to work for poor families because they have a future ahead that we can intervene. But I said, but for seniors who are lonely and isolated at the end of the day, it's really their fault, because they either didn't look after themselves or neither did they look after their families. So that's why they abandoned. And Mary said, no, Bill, join me and you will discover what it means to age. Wow. And indeed, after 3 years, I realized that actually people don't have a choice in their aging condition, and that the seniors do have a voice, okay, and they do have dignity in their life. But as one age, they become afraid and they lose their confidence.
It has imparted on me this the deep respect for the seniors, and as we support the seniors in their aging process, I am always very encouraged to see their resilience, their strength. They never give up despite the adversities, and what little that we can do for them, they can bring it further. So I think it's really this deep respect for humanity, for longevity, for aging.
It was the first time that I got exposed to elder care, to aging, to frailty, to know what are the changes that are actually occurring inside, psychologically, physically as well as also in terms of muscle loss, receding gum, all the issues that are pertaining to elder care. YOLO, you only live once. So with that, I think I would now prioritize work as well as life balance to be literally balanced out, and rather than working 24/7. I think it has given me a perspective in life that now I would like to have a work-life balance.
I remember we had a colleague, I can't remember her name, she was Marian's PA. She taught me about financial independence, especially I remember she said it's especially important when you are old. And so it was then I started planning for my retirement.
It actually affected me in my future life as well, because subsequently when I started to get involved in volunteering for seniors in the nursing home, I always remember how Tsao treated the seniors, with that kind of respect, with that kind of care and love, and that carries with me till now. So I'm very thankful that I have joined Tsao even for a very, very short period, but it has really impacted me, and I'm very grateful for that.
And as the third nurse, I'm the third nurse in 1994. But I think since then, I think Marian has been very passionate about caring for older people and the well-being of older persons. So I think to date, being her employee, I've also actually been influenced very greatly for her passion in terms of serving older persons. I think it's not just in words, but it is also in action, that you do what you preach, and I think that is all along the Tsao Foundation philosophy on care.
From the mobile clinic, I can see the benefit of doing home visits as a physiotherapy, because before that I was always just seeing patients in the hospital. Seeing patients in the home setting is very different, and you get to know their needs better, and you can also see the outcome is better. So that helps me to move on to do my own home visit physiotherapy.
I actually have learned the art of elder care, and it has impacted me today because I'm still carrying on the things that I'm doing for elderly. One of the things that I'm doing right now is with the East Coast residents in terms of the silver blueprint that we are running on the ground with the elder group.
right? So this is something that I learned a lot from Tsao, and I could apply as I deal with or address the needs of the seniors in the community.
I was all along in the finance and HR in the commercial. I was never in the social service. And the Tsao Foundation is my first social service line. And then when I joined them, they're it's like a family. Like gradually, I learned it's so meaningful, the job that the Tsao Foundation do. At that time, when I joined in, we were getting the NUS students to do up a poster that in 2030, out of 5 Singaporean, 1 will be above 65. That was in 2009. I have the poster, the NUS did. A couple of years back, Lee Hsien Loong announced during the National Day rally, and that was Tsao Foundation work. You see, that was Dr. Marian Tsao advocation at that time. So I find that it really changed my outlook till now.
When I was taking the courses, I didn't know that it was actually so emotional. I almost cried every lesson. So later parts, but I'm very interested in the dementia especially, and I applied to have a petition where the EPIC has newly started to enroll. And my manager, Ruth, together with the CEO during that time has interviewed me, and I'm so privileged to get it.
I started with Tsao in the 90s. It is already, we're in the midst of 20s now. We started with graceful aging to successful aging, and I've seen that growth in this many years. And going forward, I think I will see a lot more. It has changed my outlook, my thinking, my perspectives of aging. Because when I started with Tsao, it was very different. I didn't know these things. But now it's like I have a broader thinking, and I look towards aging successfully and gracefully myself.
As for myself, I think Tsao affected my thinking towards aging. Initially, when I came to Tsao, I don't have any thinking about aging. I think it's a bit negative. But right now, Tsao taught me about aging and a positive aspect of aging and how we can age gracefully in this society. So thanks Tsao for teaching me.
Recruited into the Tsao Foundation when I was in my 50s. I cannot believe that I would be employed at this age. So anyway, it was a very fun kind of interview, because I was doing charity work with the Tsao Foundation, doing eye screening, bringing eye equipment, or rather the eye screening equipment to the Tsao Foundation for an eye screening. And then one of the staff said, "Hey Wendy, we're going to start the care management. Do you want to join us?" So I said, "Okay, why not? Hey, are you free now to go and talk to the doctor?"
Well, I've learned a lot being in the TCM, and even learned how to speak Mandarin. So and we are all we are all team oriented there, and we really love our patients there. And I'm very, very thankful to Tsao Foundation for giving me this opportunity. It has kind of covered a void that I had when my husband suddenly passed away 21 years ago. So it has really given me meaning to wake up in the morning.
How has Tsao affected my life? In many ways. As I mentioned before, really it's my longest stint in aging. Well, I've been in aging for 30-something years, and most of those years are in Tsao, or were in Tsao. I was introduced to ground level work. I was tasked to set up new innovative programs, and then I was also doing international work. So I couldn't I wouldn't have the exposure, the insight, the vision about aging that I have now without those many years at Tsao. So eternally grateful.
The doctors in Tsao, my colleagues, nurses, has been always a support to me in my caregiving journey, caring for my mom, caring for my dad. Wai Chong has been a physician for my parents and guiding me through looking at them, working with them, suffering from dementia, and how can I work with them differently. So I'm really very thankful and blessed to have good colleagues in Tsao Foundation.
First of all, when I was working there, Dr. Gu healed my migraine. So I am very, very grateful. Many years later, my grandmother was in advanced dementia, and Dr. Tan at Kwame Clinic was very patient and actually found that my grandmother was deficient in vitamin D, and then she got so much more comfortable. She was like cranky and I was really just amazed, right? Like for senior citizens, vitamin D and to ease their constipation. And because my grandmother couldn't speak already, right? Her quality of life improved like 100%. I'm eternally grateful. And now it's my father's turn. My father has just started on dementia medicine last year. And I am very grateful because it brought us a lot of precious time to develop very good new habits with him, like having a checklist of medication after he's taken, and I'm eternally grateful to the way that Tsao rolls out all the different services, right? And it truly benefited 3 generations of us. So, thank you. No, elderly, I find that they are very resilient. Yeah, it's just that maybe they may not have seen or even be aware about what they have around them, right? Or even their own internal resources. So I think actually seniors are very resilient people, and then they're very flexible, very creative, and wonderful people. So it's really for us to go down, deep dive into their inner world, to know them as a person, as a human being. And that is where you can see them blossom and become a very beautiful tree that bear fruits.
Just to add on, I guess because I'm doing, back then I was doing capacity building for seniors. So in fact, we believe that they have the potentials and they do have leadership qualities. And so we just provide that platform for them. Yeah, so I had a lot of chance to interact with the senior residents, just day-to-day residents, seniors that you see on the road, but we did it in Whampoa. So yeah, I really get to see a lot of their strength. So we are very strength focused. I don't see that they are, I don't see them as like depressed, Yeah, I do see them as people with a lot of assets to share, a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So I learn a lot from them also.
那在这边我真的是有很多很好的同事还有交到了很多的好的朋友，所以对这一方面，对照顾老人这一方面给予他们的关心。已经是学到了很多的东西，而且今年是我母亲80大寿，我也在她身上看到，通过平时我跟她的沟通，我在工作中学到的东西，应用在她身上，她也变得非常的开心。
Joining Tsao has definitely opened my eyes to aging, the different issues, and of course to meet many wonderful people who has aged so well and are aging so well, and I'm so glad that to be part of the family, even after I've left.
The way that Tsao affected me is I made many friends in Tsao Foundation, including Catherine. After so many years, we are still good friends.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so I repeat, you can cut down. Okay.